What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'd like to introduce you to somebody who's currently in jail and looking stupid as can be. Bam. This dude right here is 37-year-old Cordell Nichols from Chicago, Illinois. Shout out Chicago. What is he in jail for? Ladies and gentlemen, this past Saturday, this 37-year-old man decided he was going to take a Molotov cocktail and throw it into a Bridgeport neighborhood home over the weekend. He started a fire, and the fire killed a 54-year-old woman and injured her 12-year-old granddaughter. All of this because he was aggravated because he and the woman's daughter are no longer together. Cover a lot of stories on this channel. This is one of the craziest types of stories there are. People get so upset and bitter when somebody don't want to be with them. When it's that person's right to end the relationship or continue it. You see a lot of people doing this, but when you see men doing this type of stuff, it makes other men sit back and be almost like, cringy, like, who knows what make people do this type of stuff? But they get so angry that they hurt not just the person that they're trying to, get even with, when they shouldn't be trying to get even with the person anyway, when you go your own way. But a lot of lives get lost in the process of somebody having a broken heart or just being, vengeful. Take a look at this story. We'll come back and talk about it.
There's been a lot of emotion from people living in this home and all around this home here today. As you can see behind me, the home was just boarded up. A lot of damage to this apartment. It's a two-floor apartment that you see there that was impacted, and many of the people we've talked to today say they're just so thankful this fire did not spread to the neighboring units. As crews board up this apartment on Green Street in Bridgeport, Chicago police are now looking for a person that they believe started the fire intentionally. Police say someone threw a flammable object through the window of this apartment. All of it happening just after 2 this morning, and you could hear some of the initial response from officers on police scanner radio.
The main body of fire has been extinguished. Right now we're in salvage and overhaul. A second victim has been located. We're searching for a third. The fire has been contained to one single unit.
When firefighters arrived, they say a 54-year-old woman died on scene from her injuries. They were able to get a 12-year-old girl out of the home. She was taken to the hospital in fair condition. Family members and neighbors revisited the home today, devastated by the damage and too upset to speak with us on camera. Now, I just checked in with Chicago police again in the last 20 minutes. They say there has not been any arrests made as they continue this arson investigation.
All right, guys, that was the news article that you've seen, and that's when the story first broke out. They said they didn't have a person of interest arrested or anybody arrested. This news just broke yesterday, and it gives you the sum total of what this whole thing was about. It's some immature people out here, whether it's a man or woman, man. Some people need their heads cracked wide open and sat in a corner. This story reads as follows, guys. Check it out. A Chicago man is facing arson and murder charges after police say he threw a Molotov cocktail into a Bridgeport home over the weekend, starting a fire that killed a 54-year-old woman and injuring her 12-year-old granddaughter. Cordell Nichols, age 37, is charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and 1 count of aggravated arson in a fire that left 54-year-old Charnette Walker dead in the 3100 block of South Green Street early Saturday morning. Police said around 2:30 a.m. Saturday, he threw a Molotov cocktail through the window of a row home in the 3100 block of South Green Street. He was then seen running north in an alley wearing all black. Police and prosecutors said he was caught on camera throwing the Molotov cocktail through the window. Cook County prosecutors said Nichols was dating Walker's daughter the day before the fire. They got into an argument about a bill for a hotel room they had been staying in. Nichols' girlfriend told him to leave, and he did. But the two continued arguing over Facebook voice calls and video calls, and Nichols threatened to harm his girlfriend, according to prosecutors. At one point, Nichols asked his girlfriend if she was still at the hotel, but she said she was not. On Friday night, the girlfriend decided to make up with Nichols and tried to find him, but couldn't. Went back to the motel. Prosecutors said Nichols' Venture card was used on buses and trains heading towards Walker's home on Green Street. Surveillance video from the CTA showed him outside the nearby Red Line stop a short time before the fire. Surveillance video also recorded Nichols lighting an improvised explosive device on fire and throwing it through the front living room window of Walker's house. Walker was sleeping in her bedroom directly above the living room at the time and was unable to escape the blaze. Her 12-year-old granddaughter was sleeping on the second floor in the second floor bedroom in the rear of the home. She was able to escape when the neighbors placed a mattress below her bedroom window and she jumped to safety. The girl was taken to the hospital and treated for burns. After the fire, investigators confirmed the explosive was made up from a 7-Up bottle filled with flammable liquid. Nichols was arrested near 29th and Halstead Streets after 45 minutes after the fire started. According to a police report, officers noticed a strong smell of gasoline on him when they took him into custody. His first court appearance was Monday, which just passed, and Cook County judge ordered Nichols detained at Cook County Jail while he awaits trial. Nichols will be due back in court July 3rd. Before I get into the story, I want to show you something that, a lot of times you guys get upset at content creators for having some facts mixed up. And we all do that. But this is the reason why. When you do stories like this and it has a small video, thing about, what originally happened, a lot of times we try to get these stories out and they have limited information or information that they give the media where the media comes out and say stuff, but a lot of stuff is missing. It says he's charged with 2 counts of murder when one person died. I don't know if that's a typo, but that's one of the things up here that I've seen. Another thing is when you do these news articles, it's also good to read the article sometimes, not just have the video, because the video was before, this is after. In the other video, right, and other videos that were out here, it said because of a bitter breakup, this happened. Now we see on here, it's totally different. Now let's get back to this story. I just want to say that, everybody gets things wrong. But check it out. They were in a hotel room. They got to arguing over a bill. She winds up leaving. He leaves. She tells him to leave first. He leaves. She ain't going to stay there by herself. She leaves. She calls to make up with the dude. After them going back and forth arguing and all this other stuff, can't resolve conflict between the two of them. She goes home and goes to bed. He asks her where she's at. I guess she told him, hey, I'm not there no more. He knows her habits, knew she was home. Goes home. Those are incendiary device, Molotov cocktail through the window, right under where the daughter was sleeping. Think about this. There were other people in this house. Knew it was children that lived there. I'm sure Mr. Cordell, who goes over that house, knew who lived in there. And when he threw that thing, I know he knew whose room was who. You so angry and can't get out of your own way, you decide to throw a thing in there where a little girl got burned, had to jump out of a window because the fire was right up under her feet. And neighbors had to help her get out the window. What if the neighbors wasn't there? And they didn't have matches they could put at the bottom of the thing. That little girl would have burned up. You killed this woman's mom. Ain't got nothing to do with it. In your fit of rage and being upset. Don't understand it, man. Said 2:30 in the morning he did this. So he went and got gas and put it in a 7-Up container, lit it like he was in a riot and threw it in the damn house. Look at that house. Tore that house up. It's a row home. Do you know that whole block could have went up? Not thinking. so upset and angry, it's everybody's fault. I told you these guys do a lot of stuff, man, that, takes a lot of energy and less thought. But a lot of times when you see the crime and the anger they do and what they do in the crime, it tell you a lot about how this person was in a relationship. And there are a lot of people out here that have chaotic relationships. This relationship right here sound chaotic. Said he continued to argue with her over Facebook voice calls. Who argues on a voice call? And over video calls. They caught him. He smelled like gas. He dressed in black. Boom. They do this crap. Then they run away like always. Why? Look stupid. It's the same type of MO. Let's tear somebody's stuff up and then run away. They'll never suspect it's me because the person I'm with got a lot of enemies when the person don't have no enemies. The enemy's right up close on them and in their midst, and it's you. Most people don't go around having personal gripes with people. People are minding their business and trying to live their own life. If somebody came right now and attacked me out of the blue or set my apartment on fire, it would have to be something somebody thought I did or something somebody has against me. Random stuff like that. I mean, it does happen, but it rarely happens. People know when they have enemies. And a lot of times stuff happens right after you have a conflict with somebody. So all the fingers point to you. How stupid can this guy be? 37 years old, not a lick of sense. And there's a lot of them out here like that. Women too, goofy as batshit. And for what? For what? I told my girlfriend Tony, I said, listen, because she said, sometimes you seem emotional when I'm emotional. She said, you seem emotionless when I'm emotional, when I'm talking to you, and I have to be like that. Men have a lot of pressure on them, both inside the home and outside the home. We do. And I told Tony straight up, I don't get to where my emotions take over, because if my emotions take over, things like this happen. These stories I do. You know what I'm saying? We have a limit to where it's a tipping point in men, where we know, okay, we're about to lose our shit. We either raise our voice and say, hey, that's enough, or we remove ourselves from that chaotic environment or situation. Nowadays, dudes feed right into it and they get emotional and all this other stuff, and they match the energy of the woman and all this other stuff. It's crazy. When you put yourself in an imbalance, when you're trying to keep your life balanced, you lose everything. Look at this guy. I don't know if he was trying to hurt the girl, but you killed the mother. That's unacceptable. I'm sorry, and I was mad, and I lost my shit. That's no excuse. Because what you did was a willful error. And you burned up a house that you had nothing to do with. Think about that. At any given time, we can walk away. Hey, you know what? In that whole time of them arguing back and forth, saying crazy stuff to each other, he could have been like, hey, you know what? I'm done with this. I can't keep doing this. We're finished. I'm out. He could have left. I bet his apartment or wherever he stay at wouldn't have got burned up, and he wouldn't have lost his mom, leaving it up to her. It's something to think about. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. There are a lot of children out here in grown folks' bodies. And they're not just men. There are women out here that are wild like that too. I did a story, 2 weeks ago, of a girl out there in, Cleveland? Somewhere in Ohio doing the same thing. Woman was in a wheelchair and couldn't get out. She mad at the boyfriend. He broke up with her, torched the house. Old people jumping out the windows looking crazy as hell. Still recovering from injuries. Man, when does this stuff end? For real. We ignore the flags a lot of times. And nowadays it's costing us big. And it can be fatal. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.